Hi, this is Pradnya. Today I'm going to discuss a very interesting topic with you. Some of the mentees that I have been coaching in the future of work have complained that they are feeling so overwhelmed with the explosion of Gen AI. Many of them are really accomplished in their career. So they are senior IT professionals and they are doing best. They are trying to learn everything they can with respect to Gen AI. But still, they are having this feeling of not having enough control and facing fear and uncertainty. I thought of sharing my views on this so that it will be beneficial for everyone. As described in the book, Immunity to Change, the complexity of our world has really surpassed the complexity of the mind. The computing power has increased more than trillionfold since 1950s, but our brains remain unchanged. So how can we handle it better? First is embrace the uncertainty. As human beings, we have tendency to gain pleasure and to avoid pain. So we like things that are certain. In reality, the certainty doesn't really exist. It doesn't exist outside of yourself, but you have to create it within yourself. Stop depending on your career for the sense of certainty. Instead of running away from it, treat it like a pickle in your meal, which makes your meal more interesting. Similarly, certain level of uncertainty makes our life more stimulating and interesting. Remember that there are no guarantees in life. Change is a law of nature. Look at the past and see how many times you have overcome uncertain situations and have faith in yourself that you can overcome this phase too. Second is acknowledge the discomfort of not knowing. This can be really hard if you are a high achiever and you have this track record of coming up with the right answer. In our career we have been conditioned to come up with single correct definitive answer, but life is not always black and white, it's gray. Our brain is hardwired to look at uncertainty like a threat. Whenever we face any unfamiliar situation, our brain feels alarmed and we get stressed out. It's very normal to avoid these unpleasant feelings. It can really become a barrier for your future learning and growth. Instead of running away from these feelings, we must learn to acknowledge and accept these feelings as a normal part of learning and growth. Third one is letting go of the perfectionism. What I have observed is that my mentees who have been really high achievers in their career, they are prone to perfectionism. In a complex environment like in current scenario, the context is continuously shifting. So aiming for perfection is futile. Instead, aim for progress. Expect that you'll make some mistakes. But at the same time, trust yourself that you'll course correct as required. For high achievers, the ego and the desire and identity can really get in their own way of growth. So, the desire to be seen as successful and the expert can really become a blocker on your path to growth. To let go of the perfectionism, you need to identify and acknowledge the core fears that are getting triggered inside of you. Whenever you feel stressed or overwhelmed, just think about what is a sentence that is running in your mind. Something on the lines of, I look bad, or I'll fail, I might make a wrong decision. You have to understand those triggers and then reframe them to positive statements. For example, whenever this thought comes to your mind that you might fail, just tell yourself that there's no failure, but there's only feedback. If you start thinking that you look bad by trying out something new, just tell yourself that growth begins at the end of comfort zone and you are much bigger than this. Remember this mantra, value progress over perfection. The fourth one is go to balcony from the dance floor. Leaders often feel stuck in the challenges they face because they are too much immersed in them, which means they are on the dance floor. They need to go to the balcony and get some fresh air and just enjoy the view. This is the term which is described in the book, The Practice of Adaptive Leadership. Do you have a bird's eye view of why your company is trying to leverage AI and what is the goal and mission they are trying to achieve by doing that? Is it to increase the efficiency or is it for some strategic reasons? This will really broaden your perspective and give you a systemic view of the things. Having this elevated vantage point is going to give you a better perspective of the interdependencies and also the larger patterns. Then obstacles become more visible and then you can work on a new solution. With this practice, you can build your capacity to look at a bigger picture and you can become more agile as a leader. Fifth is, remember you are not alone in this. We are in it together. Take a realistic stock of what skills you need to develop. Make a plan and work on it. Having a supportive community around which really uplifts you and keeps you on the right track is very important in this process. If you wish to join my community of future of work leaders, then comment below. You guys are smart and very much capable of building your skills. But the question you need to ask is what is the feeling that you want to create as you work on your skills? Do you want to keep feeling stressed out and irritated? Or do you want to do it with enthusiasm and a positive feeling? Because anything you do with a good feeling is going to be a great work. Practice getting into a flow state before you start any important activity. It could be as simple as listening to your favorite song or taking a small nature walk. Do this activity before you work on the important initiative. This will really give you a positive energy. Remember that you don't really need to learn each and everything. The wisdom is to know what are those key experts that you need to follow. And within the Gen AI umbrella, what are the skills that you plan to gain expertise on? Think about what is it that you can learn which will help you make an impact in your job role. You need to be smart here. So think about how can you spend 20% of your time on those most important skills that will help you make 80% impact in your career? Choose 3 to 5 top experts that you want to follow and then you can follow them on LinkedIn, YouTube, subscribe to their newsletters and read their articles on a regular basis. We all have very limited time and energy. So it's not about learning everything, but it's all about focusing our energy on few things and then trying to become an expert in those. The world values experts. Get inspiration from the way Elon Musk learns things. He thinks about a concept like a semantic tree. First, you need to focus on the trunk. That is the core principles, the core knowledge. Once you have clarity on that, then you can move on to the leaves, which is a periphery. People start with the leaves, so they start with so many tools, and then they just get overwhelmed by that, right? So instead, you better focus on the trunk. Think about in the realm of Gen AI, what are those skills which are trunk from your role perspective? Second important tip from Elon Musk is interconnecting different trees. Be curious about different topics like economy, business, arts, music, and then just try to connect other concepts with each other. You're trying to connect different trees, and it's like you're trying to become a gardener. I like to call it a positive distraction. Whenever you feel stressed out or with some topic, or you think it's too heavy, then you just move on to your positive distraction, which is like a different subject, and then you have some enthusiasm and you have some positive energy. When you come back to your first heavy topic, your brain is much more clear and you might get some new insights and ideas. As leaders, we cannot really control the change, the complexity, and the uncertainties outside. However, adopting the strategies like these is going to help us navigate the complexities of the world and to learn and grow in the process. Doing some meditation or grounding exercises, pranayama, on a daily basis is really going to prove beneficial to and to be stress free. I would love to know your perspective on this subject. So feel free to comment below. That's all I have for today. Thank you.